and y'all go downstairs. Look, here's Miss Barbara. Remember the other day you showed her. Come around. Don't get him in the food. They're going downstairs.
Hi.
KC and LMM say hi, Miss Barbara. I don't know who else is on. I just happened to see her.
Hi, Miss Barbara.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, Katie.
I can't now see. I've got to get up next.
So I could get on. Only 6
Oh, thank
p.m.
you. Oh,
here.
bless your heart. Well, I am going to do this as fast as I can, but I'll be honest, it's probably going to take at least 30 minutes. So they're going downstairs. Wave bye. See, I've already washed my hands. Hold him up. Say hi, Miss Sam. Get him away from the leftover turkey. Okay, go on, baby. Okay. Thank you for doing that. Coming on. So I sat there reading a book. Let me get the book I was reading and show you. All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about this book, but right now I'm actually going to jump right into the process, because while it's doing its thing, I can chat and so forth. I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure. Oh, my stars. I don't know how to see the chat. I think that... Okay, I think I'll have to scroll to see the chat. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump into the process. I may sometimes look here instead of looking at the camera. So, you know, if I look cross-eyed, that's why. I'm going to tell who I am and all that stuff here in a minute. I'm going to chit-chat. I'm going to say hello. But I want to get started with the process because there's a waiting period that I can have time to chat. So welcome, and let's get started. I'll go over all kinds of questions and all kinds of things. I've got more to tell you while this is doing its thing. I know it's late at night for us on Eastern time zone, so thank you, but as was just demonstrated, it's not early for, you know, Pacific or Mountain, or I don't know the zones. But thank you for being here. All right, I'm doing this on my camera, on my phone rather, and so I'm going to be bringing you in, and I hope that you have seen the video that I put out just a couple hours ago. It feels like, I don't know when it was, 2 or 3 hours ago, and excuse me, it might answer some questions like, why do I have a thing in my mouth? It answers about apron orders. It answers about cookbook orders, about Jonathan a little bit. It answers what's going on in our lives and how viewing videos on Heritage Ways YouTube is going to be different going forward. And one of them is I hope to do lives like this, because I'm just going to be honest, it makes my life easier. And I hope it makes you feel like you're right here in the kitchen, because, you know, if I'm fixing to mess up, I'm going to do it on TV. You know, live, so that's not going to be pretty, but maybe it'll be funny. I don't know. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. Let me get my water and take a sip of it. Like, we just finished supper 30 minutes ago. Here's the thing. See, it's 9:05. We're still not used to Eastern time zone, because it gets lighter. I mean, darker later. Yeah. And we're just not used to it. And we finish supper most of the time, and we're like, oh my goodness, it's 8:30 or it's 8:45. And Mr. Patient goes to bed at 9, and so, you know, he's gone. All right, here's what we do. Now, we are making, let me see if I can get this. I'm going to point this down here into the pot here in a minute. We are making cottage cheese. It doesn't matter which knife. I'm going to use this one over here. You're going to get a knife. We're making cottage cheese the old-fashioned way. Old-fashioned, old country. And like I said, I'm going to say hello and see who's here after I get this going, because there'll be some lag time and I'll have time to do that. Right now I'm jumping right into it. So, excuse me. Stove is nasty. We hadn't cleaned it from supper. I don't even think we cleaned it from supper last night. Law of mercy, I'm not sure we cleaned it from the supper the night before. This is real life. So what I've got, and I don't know why I've got some gnats right there. I think it's because of my failed blackberry wine attempt, and it turned into blackberry vinegar. Anyway, one ingredient, no special equipment, not even a thermometer. All right, what I do, and again, there's more than one way to do things. This is how I do it. This is how I've been doing it for years. As a matter of fact, I've got a video similar to this, kind of, sort of, the same idea, back at my farmhouse, Middle Tennessee farmhouse, back in Las Casas, Tennessee. And so I've been doing this way for years. Nobody's died from it yet. My ancestors did it like this, and probably yours did too. So what we have is raw milk. Now, we'll talk later about using pasteurized and so forth. But what I have here in the pot is raw milk. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to turn the camera around because I've got to be able to talk to you. I've got to be able to see what you see and so forth. So, because, excuse me, you know, I'm not an expert at this stuff, y'all. Okay. So this way, I can see what you're seeing and I can talk about it. Okay. Now, hope everybody can see good. All right, so what I have is raw milk. And looks kind of yellowish, whitish. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I've got raw milk. I poured it in this stainless steel pot. Today's Tuesday. I think I poured it in here maybe last Wednesday night. Either last Wednesday night or last Thursday morning. It's one of the two. But anyway, roughly a week. So 6 days or so. So I poured it in here. And now I'm going to tell you, now those who are familiar with raw milk, you're fine with this. If you're not familiar with raw milk, you're thinking, oh my stars, what's that woman doing? She's poisoning her kids. But listen, first of all, let me smell it. It doesn't smell, it just smells like, I can't describe it, nothing bad. Maybe like a sour cream, maybe, is maybe what it smells like. It has sat here. Now, again, it's on the counter. Left it out on the counter, covered with a towel. Now, I have these kinds of towels that I only use for this type of thing, that I don't like wash with and stuff. Excuse me. Left it set out. So, what are we talking? 6 days, maybe? And it started to form, or the cream rose to the top. I tried to get the cream off at the beginning, but still, cream still rose to the top. And in a minute, I'll go over here and show you that soured cream. That's what it is, sour cream. So now we are at a stage where the curds and whey have separated. You see that liquid? That's the whey. Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet, eating the curds and whey. So what we're doing right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just cutting the curds, if you've heard that term. Now, I have done this enough times, even lately, not just from years ago, to know that I don't have to be so exact and so particular and so scared of it. I try to teach y'all, I try so hard to teach y'all to just learn intuitively. You don't have to have a recipe all the time. You don't have to have exact directions. Now, a cheesemaker may be out there freaking out right now thinking, oh my word, okay, you know what? I may not be doing this. See the cubes? I may not be doing this the way some professional cheesemaker, but look, my Mr. Patient loves my cottage cheese every week, and that's who I want to please. So here's what we're going to do now. That's it. So I am going to turn it on low. I've got a gas stove. And I'm going to turn it one dot above low. I may go 2 dots above low. Okay. And what's going to happen now is I am just trying to get it to where it is, how should I say, really warm bath water feeling. I am not using a thermometer. I was looking for a spoon rest, but the kids emptied the dishwasher and I don't know what they did with it. But I am, okay. And I'm just going to get me a wooden spoon. And actually I'm going to get a metal one. Yeah, I like this one for this. And I'm really just going to, I want this to get up to the temp of warm bath water. I just washed my hands a second ago. So it's kind of cold, you know, cold room temperature-ish. And I just want it to be warm, kind of warm bath water. If you are taking the temperature, or measuring rather, you can tell I have kids taking temperature. If you are measuring the temperature, you do not want it above 120 or so. Now, while this is heating, I have several things to tell you, and you're welcome to ask me questions. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like and what I do with it after this. So let me turn it around because there's nothing really to watch here. I'll let you see it here in a minute. But here, first of all, look right there. You see those? Those are my great-grandfather's cheese cutters. He was a cheese maker, a dairy farmer, and he made cheese. And I'm not sure if he sold it or not, or if he just made it for his family, but there you go. My great-grandfather's cheese makers. I'm going to turn the camera around this way. That way that will be in the background. Thanks for the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you know. Oh, you know what, Miss Barbara, I know you like cottage cheese. We've talked about this. And so I'm going to answer some questions. I'm going to say hello to all y'all. But I also have several things I want to tell you while this is heating up. And when this is heated up, then I'm going to, you know, end the video. Because I know a lot of y'all want to go to bed, need to go to bed, or need to, you know, wash your dishes. That's what my 2 little kids are going to do after we're finished here. They're going to wash dishes because they want me to take them on an outing tomorrow. And I said, excuse me, I said, that's fine, but y'all got to help me tonight. You got to get these dishes washed because I got to go to bed. Again, if you haven't seen the video I put out this afternoon, I really wish you would. I feel like it was informative for folks who follow our journey and our lives and walk life with us. All right, so again, we're just waiting. And this doesn't actually take as long as you might think. And the other day I made this, and I went over there and sat in the chair, and I was reading something, and I was like, oh my stars, I totally forgot I had this going. And it was fine. It did fine. Yes, it was much hotter than it should have been, but it did fine. So I really encourage y'all to not stress about, you know, I encourage you to start a project. Even if you think, you know, I don't know the exact temps of that cheese, or I don't know how to do that sourdough exactly, or I don't know this, or I don't know that. Just start it. I mean, you know, I tell you what, I won't show you now because I've got a video coming, but I canned chicken legs last night, and it had been a long time since I did it, and y'all, that's the easiest thing I think I've ever canned in my whole life. And I put it off because I've canned meat, but not bone chicken recently, and oh my stars, that was so easy. So I just encourage you to get started. All right. I want to tell you a few things. Number one, this is raw milk, but I know more and more nowadays people have their own cows, or I don't, or have access to raw milk. Excuse me. It's just a dry cough, not contagious. They have access to raw milk, so that's why I feel like sharing this here and now is really helpful, I hope, at least. 2 things I want to tell you. You may be watching the time. I'm not, so I don't know how long this is going to take. So I'm talking, but maybe it was a couple of minutes ago when we started. I don't know. One thing is, as this was sitting on the counter for the 6 days, and I had it, when I first made it, I think it was on the counter for 11 days before, because you're looking for the curds and whey to separate, okay? And don't make the mistake of putting a lid on it, you know, a pot lid. I did make that mistake one time, and it molded because it couldn't get air. It's a living, breathing thing, okay? Cow's milk or goat. You can do this with goat or sheep. Sheep milk's popular around here, where I am in mid-Ohio, around Amish country. In fact, one of my Amish friends that I buy a lot of furniture from, or I did at one time, he was the one telling me about sheep's milk, sheep's cheese, and so forth. Anyway, you want a cloth over this. You want a cloth over it. And don't just try not to be scared of the idea of raw milk sitting out on your counter. If it goes bad, which I've been using raw milk for forever, if it goes bad, you're gonna know it. But just sitting there on the counter, that's a natural process. They still do it in the old country, you know. We still do it here now. More and more people are doing it here. That's just a natural process. The good bacteria, and I'm dumbing this down for myself, not for y'all, because I have to understand it this way. But the good bacteria are eating the milk sugars and the milk proteins and causing lactic acid, producing lactic acid. So it's basically lacto fermentation. And I'm no professional on that, and then that eats away, prevents the bad bacteria from doing their evil things. You know, bad bacteria is, if you leave pasteurized milk out to separate, well, first of all, it won't. It's been homogenized as well, but it's not going to do this. So this is only with raw milk. I want to emphasize that. We can talk another time about making it with other kinds of milk. Ah, tongue twisted. Now, this is starting to, I don't know if you can see it. This is starting to get a few bubbles around the edge, but I still have a few things I want to tell you that I feel like are kind of important facts. I don't know if you can see it, but where's the... I'm not quite sure where the... Oh, y'all know I'm not techie, okay? Anyway, I'm going to read everything and comment before I hang up. But, okay, it's starting to be bubbly, as in effervescent, is what it looks like to me. You see that? So, okay, and let's see, what was I saying? Oops, sorry, I'm trying to get this. There's my hand. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, I was showing you this. So, about 2 days ago, so after it'd been out, 4 or 5 days or something like that, I came over here to check it, because I check it every day. You know, I just don't want something weird to happen and it gets moldy or whatever. I keep an eye on it. And I came over here, and a lot of cream had risen to the top. This is brown Swiss milk. I have been getting Jersey milk, which I think I like Jersey better for the cream. Obviously, it's known for that. But also, oddly enough, I feel like the Jersey cream gets thicker. I know it does. When it rises to the top, it's thicker. In the refrigerator, I mean, than the brown Swiss. So, I don't know. Anyway, this is the sour cream. And, it's what I scraped off the top of this after it had been sitting out for about 4 days. I don't know, 3 or 4 days. And I thought, okay, and I'm going to admit to you, I'm still like, it's been sitting out. But then I think, Katie, get a hold of yourself. It's ridiculous. You know better than that. And so today, I put it in the fridge, and I thought, okay, I'm going to cook with it, you know. And I put it in the fridge, and I pulled it out a while ago, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get brave, and I'm going to taste this and see. And y'all, I got my mouth thing in, but I'm still gonna. It tastes, it's sour cream. I mean, that's all it tastes like. It's got a twinge to it, but nothing bad. Nothing that tastes bad at all. So there's that, the sour cream. Because honestly, it is soured cream. All right, so here I'm just going to stir this gently. Now, I told you I was just reading that book, Nourishing, I can't talk with this thing in my mouth, Nourishing Traditions with Sally Fallon. And her book was saying that that you can, she recommends doing what I did and letting it separate on the counter. And I'm going to keep this in the fridge, by the way. I guess you could leave it sitting out. But she recommends, or says, to have what she calls cream cheese, to not do this heating process. Now, I didn't get this heating process from her book. This is Katie. But not to do this. You just leave your milk out, let the curds and the whey separate. You'll see what it looks like. Looks like a blob of white semi-solids in water. And then she says to pour this in cheesecloth, which that reminds me, I've got to get my next step ready. To pour this in a strainer with cheesecloth, and then, catch the whey. You can use the whey later. Incidentally, I'm going to do a video soon about whey lemonade. Call it probiotic lemonade, whatever. Little Miss Homemaker loves it. She's like, Mama, please make some. And I said, okay. As soon as I get me some organic lemons, I'll get it made. But anyway, back to Sally. She says to pour just your curds and whey into your strainer with your cheesecloth, and then hang your cheesecloth up, let it drip. You've got your whey you can use. You've got your, what she calls the cream cheese. And that's what I do with my yogurt. When I make my yogurt, that's exactly what I do sometimes. And I have a video on here of how to make yogurt. I have a video, actually we have two. One that Little Miss Homemaker did years ago. It's cute. Another one that I did, same recipe. And then I have one of how to strain the yogurt, a video here on YouTube. And then I have one of how to make labna cheese. I'm saying Labneh. Labna, it's like Middle Eastern. It's delicious. All you're doing is you're taking the cheese where you've strained it, and you're making little balls, and you're either putting it in oil or different things. I put it in spices and lemons and oil and stuff. And you can just eat it. We put it on pizza, put it on bagels. So just check out those videos. I need some water. So y'all throw your questions up here, and I will answer those, or whatever you have to say. I'll read that here in a minute. Thank you for joining me. I will say, if somebody asks, why should you cut it? Why don't you just stir it up? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. All right. You do just slightly stir it. And all I'm doing the reason I'm doing that is just kind of evenly distribute the temperature that's going on. And like I said in this afternoon's video, I'll be doing more lives than not, because it's just easier at this stage in my life. Okay, now, here we go. I'm turning it off because it was kind of bathtub hot. But I think it's over 120. Close to it. Look at there. It's close to it. 116. I wanted it under 120, so that's how good my finger is. I mean, you know, you mothers, you know you take the temperature, kid's temperature, and you say, yep, it's 99.7.63, something, you know. So there, I've turned it off. It can sit there a minute. And then I'll show you the last 2 steps. But let me answer, please. Let me get here where I can see for just a second. Oh my goodness. Hello to everybody. Oh, there's Michaela. I hope Michaela knows how to make cottage cheese, but we were talking about that the other day. I'm glad you did too, Tracy. Hey, Jenny, I hope you're feeling better. Hey, Alfonso, how's Colorado? See, I could talk to all y'all. Hey, Sam, how is it in Windsor? Oh, all y'all. I'm just so happy to see everybody. If you're just starting it in the middle, obviously you can go back and watch again. Don't care for cottage cheese. Yeah, I mean, I could do a live, but it wouldn't take long, but we could talk, you know. That'd be fun. Okay, lost it. Okay, there we are. Yes, jerseys do have a higher fat content, but I guess what I was saying, brown Swiss. I don't think I said brown Swiss. My brain is just whoosh. Jerseys do have a higher fat content. But what I was saying was I have found that when I leave my Jersey milk sitting in there, it really gets really thick. I keep losing the chat. I'm sorry, I'm probably poking y'all in the eye. Need somebody to sit over here at the bar and read me the comments. That's what I need. Everybody's in bed. Almost. Anyway, this brown Swiss doesn't seem to get really thick. I mean, it rises, but it's not thick. The Jersey, you could pick it up with a spoon like you're eating, you know, ice cream that's not sweetened. So, which I love. I'm weird like that because I love... I think I just heard the cat over there into something. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah, cat's into something. But I love just a scoop full of cream like that. And, you know, no sweetener. It's just, I love it. I love it better than ice cream. Okay. I think that's it. Does anybody have a question? If you have a question, what else did I want to tell you? Oh, so here's this book. If you're not familiar with it, Nourishing Traditions, learn it. Sally Fallon. I've made several of her recipes, but it's all about healing the gut. Not the book is all about. The idea, the concept is, you know, traditional foods, and traditional being how our ancestors and the world's ancestors ate. My friend Mary at Mary's Nest is just so wonderful to teach us all so much. So you might visit her at Mary's Nest. All right, I'm going to get a clean towel, one of these that I only use for, you know, food. And beyond that, I even, because, you know, we've got, oh my stars, we've got mice. Oh, and so I've had to clean and you know, I hope I don't gross y'all out by saying that, but y'all have mice too, probably. And so even on these towels like this that I only use for food, I keep them on a little, I'll just show you. And there's the cat. I thought he went down there with little buddy. Cat's back. This cat likes me. And that's fine, but he needs to go away for a minute. Look. Anyway, see there's our mouse trap, and we never get mice. He's supposed to be our mouse trap, but we'll see. I keep my towels right here. That way there's no danger of them being in a drawer near mice. So I really take, you know, cleanliness or you know, when I'm doing fermenting and things like that, I take it seriously being clean, because I just don't want to make myself sick or anybody else sick. So, put this in your sink, put this on top of it. I'm going to bring you over here to the sink. Oh, I need to get a bowl for to catch my whey. And I use whey different ways. Don't mean to be, okay, Casey, you need to move. Oh, this is real life. All right, put my colander in there. And all this is about to go in the sink. I'm fixing to put it in the sink and bring the camera over. Just make sure there's no stray. That wasn't a hair. That was just a piece of fuzz. All right, y'all come on over here. And we're about done. But I want to show you. Oh, there's my trash. I'll show you. See, this is the thing with being live. Y'all have to move with me here. There's my spoon that my friend Leann, I mean, not my spoon, my washcloth that my friend Leann gave me. We use it year round. It's Christmas. Okay, kitty cat, you need to move. Move. Oh, don't want to hurt you. All right, and then I'm going to just dump this in here. And it'll save the curds on top. And I'm stirring. Now this is where you get, you know, you see large curd, small curd, not ice cream. You can see where my brain is. Small curd, large curd, cottage cheese. Well, this is going to be your large curd. And I stir it and kind of break it up some more because Mr. Patient likes small curd. And I like Mr. Patient. So I want to please him. I like it too. It's just that he is the one who eats it all because he loves it that much. And 1 gallon, there's a little something. I don't know what that is, but 1 gallon of milk. This is 1 gallon of milk. It's just 2 or 3 sittings for him. You know, 2 or 3 lunches or 2 or 3 snacks or 2 or 3. So, you know, if we're both eating it, there's not enough for everybody. Now, we'll let that sit there just 1 minute, and I'm going to go get, oh, it's sitting in the way. That's why it's not. Oh, yeah, it was sitting, take it over here. Okay, now it'll finish draining. And all that whey, I mean, y'all, it keeps in the fridge for a long time. I'm talking months. And you can make whey lemonade. You can pour it on your beans when you're trying to soak them, you know, overnight. And give it to your chickens. Give it to other animals. I hope y'all are making your kefir that I taught you how to make in a recent video. I just made some a while ago. That's just something that's ongoing, and it is not hard to make. Right, that's kind of dry. You can let it sit there and drain longer, but let me show you the 2 things that I do to it. Casey, you need to go find your human. All right, so what I do, this is optional. You can let it sit there and drain longer. That's what's going to be called dry. You know, if you let it drain to where it's just so dry that, you know, can't get any more whey out of it. But, and it depends on how long I let it sit there is, you know, depends on what I got going on. Like here in a minute, I'm going to be finishing it up and then I'll put it in the fridge and I'll go to bed in a minute. But the other day I left it sitting out all day. I just put it over there out of the way, just covered it like this, and it finished draining. All right, so what we're going to do now is sprinkle salt. And I can't tell you how much. I just know that when I started making this, I wasn't putting enough salt, and so There. Okay. And then when I'm putting it in the container or the bowl, and I'll just go ahead and do this here now just for demonstration purposes, and then I'll put it in the bowl after I hang up with y'all. But I've got some cream, just some cream that has not been soured. It's been in the refrigerator, so it would be called sweet cream. That's the difference. It's sweet cream and soured cream. So you got your sweet cream here from your, you know, same batch. Look at that. And see what I was saying? That's not as thick as Jersey cream. I feel like Jersey cream, you could do that and it won't come off the spoon if it's been in there the same length of time. So that's just interesting to me. Cat, no. Get it out of the trash. No. Okay, excuse me. All right, we're almost done. Sorry about that. So anyway, I put cream in there, and you just do that to taste. Or some people, I know my friend Stacy at Doug and Stacy, she'll just put whey. You know, she'll just eat it with whey, and that's fine. You know, whatever. It's her kitchen. This is my kitchen. But see, that makes it the creamy, is adding the cream. So y'all, this isn't hard, is it? I mean, do y'all think this is difficult? What would be the most difficult part for you? Besides the fact getting raw milk if you don't have it. I understand that part. And here, I'm fixing to put this in a bowl here in a minute, but do you see how that looks a little more like you know, cottage cheese from the store? And you can continue to add your cream however creamy you want it. So that's that. And that is how you make homemade old-fashioned sour cream. That's it. That's how you make it. And I wonder, I'm happy to answer a question, or I can just bid y'all good night. I do have a video coming out on Thursday, and it is a cooking video. It is one that I have redone. It's an older one, but one that I thought would be very good for this day and age of people trying to save money and eat frugally. How do you separate the cream? Good question. And I simply, if you're if I'm doing it in the fridge, like this, for example, this is what I got it in last week, one of the things. And then I just put it in the fridge and the cream rises to the top. But like I said, I have noticed a difference whether it's Jersey or brown Swiss. But it just rises to the top. And then I very gingerly, it's kind of tricky, but I'll take a measuring cup or some such, you know, tried and true Tupperware. And then I will just try to, you know, get it off the top, which is why it's important to have your wide mouth. You don't want it in a regular jug, milk jug with the tiny little thing, mouth. And so that's how I separate it in the fridge, and then the kids drink it, or we drink it, or I use it for kefir or what have you. But then I mentioned, and I don't know who was here in the beginning of the video, but on this particular project, the cream does rise to the top, and I just pulled it off, and it was, in essence, soured cream and super good to use. And I will say too, it's much cheaper, you know, because depending on what you pay for your milk, you know, it's cheaper. And I love that you don't have to buy, for this, I mean, there's no special, you don't have to use a thermometer. You don't have to buy any special starters, cultures or anything like that. So Sam asked, how often do I make cottage cheese and other dairy products? Okay, I make this cottage cheese once a week, and this method with the raw milk. I have over here, I pretty much keep kefir going. So I just strained 2 quarts of kefir before supper. I drank a big glass before supper. The kids and Mr. Patient and the dog and the cat love it too. And this is kefir that will be ready in about, well, a maximum of 24 hours. And then I just keep that going. Also, I would show you the fridge, but in the fridge, I've got different dairy projects. And so I have Post-it notes on everything and rubber bands around it so it doesn't fall off. So I've got yogurt in there. I've got sour cream. I've got cream from 713. That's not soured. It hasn't been sitting out, but I will use that for something. It does not smell bad. It just smells kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but just like dairy, like a yogurt or something, like sour cream or yogurt. So let's see if we have any more questions, and then we will say good night. Oh, and a SCOBY. I know I have a friend too in Texas that wants some kefir grains, and I'm chicken. I'm chicken because I'm not sure how to mail those things, and I don't mind sharing. I have SCOBYs. I gave 2 away the other day to my cousin who came by. What's the difference between cottage cheese and ricotta? I have not made ricotta, but I am told by my friend Mary at Mary's Nest it is very easy to do. I've heard that from other people as well. And you saw my bowl of whey, and I have probably 2 more gallons of whey in the downstairs fridge. And I'm told that you just heat that up, that whey, and then the solids that remain in that whey from making other cheese is going to produce a ricotta. I'm also told that it makes a small amount, which I can believe because I don't see any solids in there. I mean, I believe them that there are solids in there, but I don't see it. So I guess I was waiting on to get a lot of whey and maybe use my big pot, and I might get the nerve up. And hey, I might do that live with y'all for the first time as an experiment. I don't know. But that is the difference. Ricotta actually is a byproduct, actually, which is interesting to me because it's more expensive at the store than cottage cheese, but it's actually a byproduct of cheese making. And maybe it's expensive because it is, I'm hot all of a sudden, because it doesn't make much. Sorry, I got to turn this fan on because I'm fixing to melt. Whew, okay, all of a sudden I just got, all right. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, my Mennonite friends back in Middle Tennessee that I got milk from, they made their own homemade Velveeta cheese as well. And I have a recipe. I have their recipe for that. How many days did it sit out before you scraped off the sour cream? I think it was 4. 3 or 4. That's going to depend on your temp in your kitchen. We have the air on. You can't tell by looking at me, but we have the air on. There's not a vent in my kitchen because, I don't know, the vent putter in or people didn't use a brain or they weren't cooks. And so it's hot in here all the time. But depending on the heat in your kitchen is how your things are going to ferment, whether it's sourdough or you know, your vegetable ferment, your vinegars. Here's my, I was trying to make blackberry wine just for the fun of it. And then I don't know what I did. I mean, I'm not sure if that's mold. I've scraped it off once. I'm scared to drink it, and I'm letting it sit there until I can figure out what's going on. Good night. And I'm going to just make sure, what's my favorite dairy product to eat and make? I'm going to say the cottage cheese because I love it too. Second would be kefir. Third would be the yogurt. I think that's some of the questions. Thank you for saying I simplify it because I'm not, I don't want this to be hard for people. And I just also don't want people to be discouraged if they feel like they're a new homemaker. I want them to have some hope. Where's a good place to look for real milk? Try going to Weston, the Weston Price Foundation. Type in a search engine, Weston Price foundation. And then on there, go to their website at the top, and it's going to say something to the effect of find raw milk or find milk or something like that. And when we were traveling in an RV full time, that's where I would go to that website, and it would, I think it's like, and it takes you to like, I don't know, rawmilk.org or rawmilk dot something, and it listed out by states. Also, you can go and legally get your raw milk by doing a cow share, where you own part of the cow and say Mr. Miss So-and-so over there own the cow, and then you share in the milk. So there are different ways to do that, but I would say first off, something you could do right away is go to the Weston Price Foundation. And yes, this is going to be blackberry vinegar, but I was scared about the mold on top, so I'm researching that. What does the raw milk cost? I have paid anywhere from $2 a gallon, and I had somebody in Tennessee, and this was with a cow share. I was going to have to buy into the cow, you know, be a part owner and pay $14 a gallon. And I was like, no, thank you. So that's my experience, anywhere from $2 to $14 a gallon. Currently, I pay $3 to $4 a gallon. I'm glad you feel like you're here. I mean, truly, that's what I want y'all. I want you to feel like you're here. And I don't do a second ferment on the kefir, although I have done some different things that people might call a second ferment. So I drank some of the day, and woohoo! Whoa, it was bubbly. And I did something weird to it. Okay, I think I'm going to say good night to y'all. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any questions. But if you have a question, leave it in the comment section after I go off of here. And also let me know if you did or didn't like a live. The thing is that lives are usually longer, so that's the thing there. Oh, I don't want a black snake moving in. I'd just take a cat, thank you very much. Don't ever apologize if y'all have to go. It's life. It's y'all popped in, and I'm thankful. Homemade. How long does it keep in the fridge? I tell Mr. Patient, I say please eat it, because I don't know. I would think it would mold, and so I went to all that work and expense, and I don't want it to. So I kind of make sure he eats it within at least 5 days, at least. So, yeah, he doesn't have a problem with it. He just sometimes forgets it's in there. Okay, that's it. I think that's all the questions. I just didn't want to miss anybody. And I appreciate y'all being here. I really do. We've got a lot going on in our family, but hey, I know a lot of people do. So I'm not trying to minimize anybody's everything. You know what I mean? So let's just all try to lift each other up and be encouraging. I know y'all are to me. And I appreciate y'all so very, very much. And journal update. I got a printer. They replaced it. Thank the Lord. And it came, I think, either last night or today. I can't even remember. So you'll get your journal soon. Thank you for understanding that. That was just another blah. That, you know, if it rains, it pours kind of thing. But anyway, thank you for being here, y'all. I really appreciate it. I'm going to let you go, because the people that want to watch this replay are going to think, oh, my stars, that's so long. But thank you for being here. Just, I'll see you next time. Count your blessings. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. I'm going to show you down. Good night, y'all.